Hello lovely friends, and welcome back to another video. So I'm hoping you will have watched my last video, which shows you some of the tips on how you can start a no buy, no spend year so that you can reach some of your financial goals, you can save money, and also just generally change your spending habits. Well, in today's video, I really want to share with you what my no buy rules for 2021 are and how this first month has gone. Now, a few people have been asking me a lot about my personal rules for this year and what I hope to change in this coming year. But before I get started on my plans for this year, I really want to stress that these are actually very personal to me and what I want from my life. So if you genuinely want to embark on a no buy, no spend, low spend time period, you need to make sure your own rules will match your own personal circumstances and also your own desires. But obviously feel free to use this video as a guiding principle, because I will explain each rule with the reasoning behind it, and you can use that to help you evaluate your own motivation and needs for your own rules. So although I'm aiming for a no spend year, in all honesty, I thought it'd be better to do it on a month by month basis. So I started off with a no spend January, and I decided that I will review it on a month to month basis. And if I was successful, then I would carry on the no spend challenge in February, and the cycle will continue and adapt throughout the course of the year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started with the rules that I have set in place, and then I will give you an update of how I've performed this first month against this rule. So the first thing I did was I started listing out everything that was essential for me in my life. Now, this is why you have to do a list for yourself, because I'm sure there will be things in my list that may seem like a non-essential to others, but to me, they're essential to my lifestyle and do not impact on my financial goals. One thing that I don't like to do is restrict myself or go cold turkey, because I'm more likely to fail if I push myself too hard. What works best for me is to try things out one step at a time, and then every accomplishment makes me feel like I can achieve something bigger and better the next time around. So I know the things that are essential for me are like having a roof over my head, and that includes everything needed to run the home and is essential for our daily lives. So these are things that I have to buy or spend money on, but I have rules associated with them. So the first tier of things that I have to spend money on, otherwise we're going to be homeless, is paying my mortgage, paying my utilities, paying my insurance, and etc. But what I might decide to do a little more this year is maybe pay out a little bit more on my mortgage repayments each month. I do want to take an active step towards paying off my mortgage sooner rather than later. I'm also allowed to spend money on buying food and home essentials like washing up liquid and hair conditioner and toothpaste. But instead of buying multiple products, I just buy one at a time. So for example, with my cleaning products, instead of buying multiple cleaning products, I just buy one multi-purpose cleaner, use that and replace it when it's done. And with all these things, I'm allowed to buy one that I like, branded or unbranded, but only when I have run out of said item. And that is because the behavior I am personally trying to change and the money I'm trying to save is in the additional purchases that I buy and accumulate over the year and don't end up using them. I have to use up what I have in my house before I can buy a new one without giving up my house comforts. So that is one rule that I've set for myself. I've also set another rule that I'm actually not allowed to pay for any external activities like going out for dinner or going to buy coffee, meeting up at shopping centers and spending money shopping. I mean, it's a little bit different now because we're in lockdown, but when the world opens up, these are still rules that I'm going to follow. I have given myself a very small allowance to go out for like friends' dinners and buy birthday presents, because my friendships are genuinely really important to me, and that is one expense that I'm willing to spend money on, but yet again, it is still on a very tight budget. Now, the second tier includes some hard and fast rules on things that I will definitely not be spending any money on. And to be honest, these are actually a consequence of the current year or the previous year, but I've included them in my no buy year because I really liked the lessons that I learned last year, and so I want to keep them up for this year as well. So one of them is to reduce the amount I spend on makeup. Now, working from home has actually meant that I don't have to put on a full face of makeup anymore because there is a limited interaction with people. And so for many days, I've actually now embraced a bare face or have minimal makeup. And that has actually helped me narrow down the exact pieces of makeup I like. And I have enough to last me the year, and I will not be buying any additional makeup this year. And that has actually changed one huge habit where I would see something new and would buy it straight away. But now I'm not interested in purchasing anymore until I have either run out of what I've got or it has expired and it needs to be replaced. So if you're worried about wearing makeup and whether you have to give up your comforts, remember, you set the rules, and no buy does not mean deprivation. You just have to stop purchasing additional items when you already have enough at home. You just have to use everything you have first before you make another purchase or you replace it. Another thing I've decided I'm not allowed to buy this year is clothes for myself. I already have so many clothes in a range of sizes, and even though one of my goals this year is to exercise at least 3 times a week, even if I lose some weight, I will still have clothes that fit me. And then on top of that, working from home means I have a more casual attire and can just live off what I already have at home. The only thing I'm allowed to spend money on is clothes for my son. And even then, I have limited to a low buy budget, and I'm only allowed to buy his clothes when I'm replacing something, be it shoes, trousers. The rule for this one is 1 out, 1 in, because something must be worth leaving the house for something new can come in. I don't want to bring in new things and take out new things as well. Another thing I'm not allowed to do is sign up for any paid subscriptions that aren't related to business work. What I found when I was reviewing my finances last year was that I was signing and trialing services and then forgetting to cancel the subscriptions. I know, terrible. So I've decided that this year I'm not signing up for anything that will incur a monthly subscription charge. If it's not free, I'm not having it. And then finally, the last thing that I'm not allowed to buy is no home decor items, as I'm currently in the process of trying to buy my next home, and there's literally no point in me buying any more home decor items. So now we're going to review how I've performed this January. So I'm happy to say that January, I was actually surprised that I pretty much stuck hard and fast to my rules. I became very aware of how much impulse spending I was doing. I found that even when I was going food shopping, I used to purchase additional items that we didn't necessarily need. So for example, I would always purchase additional toiletries. I used to have a rule that when I go for my monthly food shop, I should always pick up at least 1 toothpaste, some shower gels to make sure that I'm never without. But the funny thing is, I never reviewed how many I had left before I went shopping. So this time around, I had a very strict shopping list, and I made sure to check before I left what I had in my house. And I was actually shocked to find that I already had plenty of items to probably last me another 3 months. So until I'm down to the last bottle or last toothpaste, I will not be spending any more items on these things. And even though in the grand scheme of things, these are just only a couple of pounds being saved, it's more of a behavioral impact for me. I've become so much more aware how much I'm spending and wasting, and I'm trying to become more mindful to use everything before I replace it. The positive aspect of that is that I end up saving money as well. Now, a few items of clothing fell apart during January. I'm down a couple of trousers, leggings, and some pajamas. It's like my wardrobe is literally testing me because it knows I'm on a no sweat challenge. And if things keep falling apart at this rate, I might just be forced to live in my dressing gown all year. But I also have to admit that I also have a passion and a joy for browsing online shops and just having a look around at what is available. And especially this month, because a few of my clothing items needed to be replaced. So I did go to some online shops and I had about £75 in my basket, but I decided to wait 72 hours before purchasing them. And I found that in the midst of waiting, I completely forgot about the shopping baskets and the clothes, and I just rummaged through my clothes and I found some alternatives. So I've now decided that I'm going to just be doing that as a practice. And I also decided that those clothes that were ruined, to just repurpose them as old rags to help me with cleaning the house. And that means I don't have to purchase paper towels. So it's a win-win in a lot of aspects. There were a couple of things that I did actually purchase this month. One was a microphone and a tripod to help me with filming. And although I would still class these as non-essential because I can still do my filming without them, I don't regret this purchase because it's something that I've been using the most and it has really helped me with filming. So in essence, it's not really a personal spend, it's more of a business investment, right? I was also planning on buying a number of books and resources to help me level up my homeschooling supplies, but I actually decided to hold off and just use the free resources online and print out anything I could find that was helpful without having to pay for it, and just print out anything that I could find that was helpful online for free. And so now I've decided that I won't be purchasing anything else, and I'll just be using what we have in the house, and of course the free online resources as well. And by not purchasing what I thought was an essential in terms of homeschooling, I found that I've actually saved around £100 of unnecessary additional expenses towards these schooling costs. So it goes to show how powerful the delay tactic can work with spending, even if it's on totally legit items. And upon reflection, I found that January is such an easy time to implement a big spending freeze because it's cold, we're in lockdown, and there's nowhere to go. It's a lot easier to stay at home in the warmth and find everything that you need online. So I'm excited to implement and challenge myself next month and see how much more I can save. I've also decided that as part of my no buy challenge going forwards, I probably will also include a few rewards as a means to encourage myself to carry on, especially during the summer months when I know it will be a lot harder for me, especially because I anticipate we'll be out of lockdown, it'll be warm, we'll want to go out, so that means I'm more likely to spend more money. But I think that maybe it's just me, but I find that I work harder if there's a prize or reward at the end of it. So I've decided that for every month I do well and stick to the rules, I will reward myself with something really small as a prize for accomplishing the challenge. I always like to put a monetary limit to it, and so I've decided that it cannot be anything more than £5, but that should be enough to keep me going. So I really would encourage you to embark on a 30-day no spend challenge, because you will definitely see some great results, and it will be, if anything, eye-opening. Not only will you be able to see where your money has been going, but the feeling you get when you realize you actually have more money than you thought you did can be amazing. And in fact, for me, it has actually ended up being life-changing. Because once you realize how much extra money you could have when you don't spend it on things that aren't necessities, it can actually encourage you to work harder towards reaching your financial goals and your dreams, because they now look that bit closer to reach. Let me know in the comments below if you'll be undertaking a no spend, no buy challenge. And if you've been doing a no spend challenge, what tips would you advise to help us and encourage us going forward? Please make sure to hit that like button and to subscribe so that you don't miss any future uploads, as I'm sharing my journey to financial freedom and early retirement. Also, don't forget to check out these videos, which will show you all the frugal living tips that I'm currently implementing in my life that have saved me thousands of pounds. Thank you so much for all your support, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.